Ladies and gentlemen, my name is BrendenPlayz and welcome back to another Total Extreme Wrestling episode for our TNA 2007 playthrough. We're in the final month of the series, and we are officially getting ready for Bound for Glory. We've got about 4 weeks to start planning for Bound for Glory. 4 more episodes of Impact to get through and Explosions. Then it will be Bound for Glory. We've just recently had No Surrender. That was the last time we came to you. We had No Surrender, and we had AJ Styles defeating Christian to become the Bound for Glory series winner. In a 96 overall pay-per-view, that match itself, the main event, was 99 rated AJ Styles. Now we'll have an opportunity against Muhammad Hassan for the championship at Bound for Glory. A big occasion indeed. We also saw The Addiction defeat Austin Aries and Roderick Strong, LAX, and the Kings of Wrestling in a Fatal 4-Way tag team match. This will make them the #1 contenders for the TNA tag titles. We also had Alex Shelley defeating Jay Lethal to retain the X Division Championship. That feud is now done. Muhammad Hassan defeated Sting in a 76 rated match. We knew it wasn't going to be that great, but we wanted to spice it up anyways, give Sting a title shot. I think Sting has had a title shot. He may have had 1 or 2, but not too many in the series. So that was good anyways. Earlier on in the show, we had Christian defeat Chris Jericho to advance the Bound for Glory series, 99 rated there. We had Nakamura defeat Matt Morgan by countout for the global title. Lita defeated Christy Hemme, Gail Kim, and Serena in a Fatal 4-Way match to become the #1 contender for Melina's title. CM Punk defeated Shannon Moore. We had a big contract sign between Lashley and Goldberg. I mean, somehow we have done a 4-month feud between Lashley and Goldberg, and the two have never had a single match against each other. But somehow we've been able to keep the storyline heat really good. I don't know how, but every time they appear on pay-per-view, they strike gold, and it's just been working. And then obviously earlier on in the show as well, AJ Styles defeated Abyss as well. So yeah, that was a pretty good No Surrender show. To compare, Hard Justice, the last pay-per-view before No Surrender, was 91 rated, so we did improve there. I guess we could go back and check out our results of No Surrender in 2006, see how we went there. And we can go back here. So No Surrender was an 88 rated show, and this featured Muhammad Hassan defeating Abyss, so that wasn't the best obviously choice for the Bound for Glory series final there, 2 heels. Bound for Glory itself was a 94 rated show, so that's the goal, that's the benchmark we have to try and defeat this time round. No Surrender was obviously very successful, so we need to beat 94 so we can improve on our Bound for Glory performance from last year. That of course featured Muhammad Hassan defeating Christian for the TNA World title, 95 rated. The two had bad chemistry, so surely we can do a little bit better than that. Muhammad Hassan in the main event again this year with AJ Styles. So we've got Bound for Glory, we've got a few matches set. We're going to do one final encounter between Jericho and Christian. It's been building. It's been another 4-month feud. We did end the actual one-on-one storyline between the two, but we'll pick up from it. But it's been something that's been obviously going on for quite some time. They met in the Bound for Glory series finals. So we figured, all right, that's one strong, really good match for the card that 2 of our top guys will be a part of. So we'll have one really good match there. We've got the Hardys versus America's Most Wanted and The Addiction. So I kind of forgot about the Hardys, to be honest, as a tag team. That was initially the idea, America's Most Wanted versus the Hardys. So I did kind of forget about the Hardy Boys, but I figured, well, if we put them in, make it a triple threat match for the titles, that way, we can involve a few more guys onto this card. Obviously, we don't want to leave Jeff Hardy out off this card, so that gets him involved, and what I think would be a really good match. So we'll do that. Obviously, Muhammad Hassan, AJ Styles. I just decided to keep the Bound for Glory series storyline going because it had 99 heat, so I kind of cheated a little bit there. I'm going to give Homicide a title shot for the X Division Championship. I think he's the only guy at the moment who's available that would be the best opponent for Alex Shelley. Homicide is now a face, so I think that would be the best option there. We've got Chavo and Chris Sabin on the sidelines there, so we can do some tag matches for the build-up, so it gives us a little bit to work with there. Obviously, Lashley and Goldberg, as I said, 90 rated storyline, and they haven't really done a hell of a lot with each other, but it's been going for quite some time, ever since the turn did take place back at Slammiversary, when Heyman turned on Goldberg for Lashley. Lita and Melina, that's been building for a while. This is the new one. This is something I kind of thought of. I figured the main event Mafia needs to have some presence on this show. They're too big of a group to be left off. we are very weak on our babyface side. I actually was really surprised that we really are struggling for babyfaces for main eventers. And I looked at Samoa Joe and I figured he's the perfect guy. He's not got a match for Bound for Glory. He'd be a fantastic opponent for any one of these guys we do decide to put him against. I think he's a great person to try and turn him babyface, have the main event Mafia try and recruit him, Samoa Joe turns them down, and we go from there. So I think that would be a really easy storyline to do and give us another really strong match for Bound for Glory, because we can't leave the main event Mafia off the card. I just feel like that'd be a mistake. So it gives us opportunity to do Joe and Sting, Joe and Flair, Joe and Steiner, Joe and Jarrett, whoever we want to pick there. We could do a few of those and Impact building up, but whatever it wants to be, we've got that. I also thought about doing a young guys versus the main event Mafia, so like some of the young and up and coming guys. I mean, we've got Truth, Rhino, Samoa Joe. It wasn't that strong of a babyface side. If we had maybe like, for example, Fallen Angel or Jeff Hardy, a couple of really good babyfaces to go along with Samoa Joe, I probably would have gone with that rather than Joe as a singles. But because we're struggling a little bit with the babyface side, I feel like that would just drag the match down. We need Joe on his own because he's such a good worker to really carry the match up and try and carry. If he's going to take on a Jeff Jarrett, he'd be okay. But if he's going to take on a Scott Steiner or a Sting, he needs to be good enough to be able to carry them on his own. Matt Morgan Nakamura, that's been building for quite some time. We're going to execute that. Probably do the title change finally on that show. And a couple other X Division feuds that we've had going. I decided I'll keep them maybe going for a little bit. We might add a couple more there, but that's the card at the moment. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's pretty good. We've got some good amount of matches there. Maybe you could fit one more. I mean, I think it is going to be a 4-hour show. Yeah, so I dare say we could probably fit another one on there. But the thing is, who do you put on there? I think Abyss is the one huge name at the moment that's left out of this card. We did get Brock Lesnar. Now, the one match I thought about doing was Lesnar and Abyss. I thought that would be a really good match in terms of two big dudes battling it out. Lesnar from Japan, Abyss from TNA, going for it. I thought that would be the only match that I could really see myself going for with Lesnar. There really wasn't much else. In terms of other names available, everybody here is basically in some kind of match except for maybe A-Train. Everyone else has kind of got something going on in some capacity, so not a lot there. We could go down the card a little bit, maybe add in an upper mid card type of match, but you've got Truth, you've got Test, Bobby Roode. The only other guys I thought about putting on the card was the Dudleys, Team 3D, and maybe put them in the tag team championship match, but I don't know, we'll have to think about it. I'll leave that to you guys in the comments. Should I put them in the match or just go with a triple threat? Maybe we added a Fatal 4-Way, it would be pretty good, but we've done a little bit of, we've done quite a few Fatal 4-Way tag matches, that's all my thinking there. But yeah, so, yeah, you can see there's not a lot else that would be really good to add to this card. Yeah, you could add in a few low-ender guys and put them on, but yeah, there's not quite that much more that I would be really interested in doing. So yeah, that's kind of my only concern there, and obviously keep going down the card just gets less and less and less. So we want to make sure we have just the best names, the guys that deserve it the most on here. Maybe some more women, but I think we've got our two best women we can possibly utilize on the card at the moment. So I don't think we really need to go with any others. One last thing before we get into booking this week's show. I was thinking about maybe bringing in a big name, a big name to do an angle with someone or something like that. And probably the name that stood out to me most was probably bringing Hulk Hogan for a one-off appearance, paying big money, bring him in for a one-off appearance, and just appear at Bound for Glory. Someone who's a big enough name to come in and do a good angle with us, and that'll be it. It doesn't have to be Hogan, but someone who's a big enough name that we could bring in. It could be Randy Savage, 88 popularity. I mean, I'm sure he could probably come in and do something there. you know, he might be able to do it. So at the moment, I'm looking at Hogan. The Rock, well, obviously The Rock never went to TNA, so we won't go with that. Savage did go to TNA for a little bit, for a splash. But yeah, so I'm probably thinking Hogan or Savage, just as a one-off appearance, come in, do a shot, and that's it. I'm not sure who they'll be working with or what they'll be doing, but I'm sure we could maybe do something. Maybe the main event Mafia does a beatdown on a Samoa Joe. Maybe Hogan comes in for the save. Something like that. You know, we could do something simple like that, just as a special one-off, just to boost up and Bound for Glory, make it feel that much more special. You know, so I'll leave that to you guys. Savage or Hogan, you guys can decide in the comments down below. Obviously, Hogan's got 98 pops, Savage has 88 pops, so keep that in mind. But whoever you guys want to pick, I'll check out the comments and we'll take that into consideration. So yeah, I think we might add Abyss and Lesnar to this card. I just think that'd be a good match. I don't know. I mean, Lesnar's obviously a better heel, but he can play a babyface okay. He can come in. He probably need to change a gimmick, obviously. You know, I guess probably go with the MMA one. I think he was doing MMA at this point, or thinking about it. So we'll just go with that anyways. That's simple enough, and we don't really gimmick doesn't really matter. He's not going to be heel for the long term, so we'll just do that. But yeah, so we'll add in Lesnar. He's got 5 appearances with us, so we can utilize him on every Impact and then Bound for Glory if we want. So that's cool, and we can do that with Abyss, and I think that could probably be a 99-100 rated match. To be honest with you, I really believe that. Just simply because Abyss has had some great performances and Lesnar has got some really good skills, good pop. It's got the makings to be a real good one, or it could be a real doozy. I don't know. It could really go either way, in my opinion. We'll have to kind of just wait and see, but that's something that I think will be exciting. Obviously, we've got Paul Heyman on there, but I'm not going to align Heyman with Lesnar just simply because it's a one match. That's it, a one and done. I don't know if I'll have Lesnar wrestle. I think keeping him for his first and only match, probably in TNA, we'll keep it there. So we'll keep it for Bound for Glory. But anything else, I think we've kind of covered it all. What we're going to do is going to book another show. We need to start playing the seeds for this main event Mafia Samoa Joe. So perhaps, I don't know, would a flash turn work? I'm not sure how many we've done as of late, but obviously set the turn. He can turn and be a babyface. His babyface skill is 97. He's a better face than a heel, apparently. So he's got some insane skills. He's currently nearly at that 80 pop. So if we have a couple of good segments with Samoa Joe before Bound for Glory, we might be able to get him fully into the 80s, maybe 81, 2, 3. If we can, then he'll be really ready for that big opportunity at Bound for Glory. His opponent, I mean, Scott Steiner's there, but Steiner wouldn't give him the best match. Jeff Jarrett would give him the best match, and I guess Jeff Jarrett, is he the leader of the main event Mafia? I don't know. I don't know who the leader is. I think Jeff Jarrett's just the worker. He's just the guy gets in the ring. I would have liked to have had Ric Flair in a match at Bound for Glory, considering he's got some big pop. But maybe we do a segment there with him instead. I don't know. But I don't think Flair would have a great match, so to say. But I was just kind of curious to see what kind of performance he would have, if anything. Not that I really want him on the card. I just wanted to see how good he would perform. He's got some okay skills still, but he's obviously heavily declined, so I don't know. But at the moment he's managing, and that's probably good enough for me there. But we'll go ahead and we'll advance. We'll get this next show booked, and we'll show you some results. Okay, we are all booked up for our episode of Impact, and it will feature most of the storylines we've got heading into Bound for Glory. Try and cover as much as we possibly can. I think I noticed one thing we probably missed was Lashley and Goldberg, which is something we probably need to start doing a little bit more with, so maybe Explosion will cover that. But in the pre-show, we had a couple of matches. We had Park versus Eric Young, just to see where Park's at. 75, Eric Young 82. Pretty good match from both guys, to be honest. Another pre-show match, we had Molly Holly, Christy Hemme team up to take on Vanessa and Shelly Martinez. Just really give Molly and Christy a victory. Vanessa, I think that was her debut match by the looks of it, and Shelly Martinez. So Vanessa had her split personality gimmick debut, and it was not amazing, but she had a 41 in-ring performance, which is not too bad. Molly Holly 74, Chrissy 63, Shelley 43. We open up the show, pretty simple. AJ Styles, Muhammad Hassan, promo going back and forth about their match. You know, Styles winning Bound for Glory series, Muhammad Hassan facing him at Bound for Glory. So we just had the two go out there and chat about the match, do a promo, simple back and forth between the two. Styles invented a new catchphrase would likely boost his ability on the microphone, so that should be good in the next few weeks for this. I'd say we'll have a few more promos, no doubt, for the next coming weeks, so that should be good in terms of that, helping AJ Styles do better. Homicide and Chris Sabin went one-on-one. I wanted Homicide to get a strong victory to get him ready to take on Alex Shelley. Beat Chris Sabin, 93 rated match. Incredible. Homicide 89. Sabin was good as well, 84. This is why Homicide's in this position. I think he's the best X Division guy we've got right now that's not locked up in a title match, you know, like a Jeff Hardy, Fallen Angel, or an AJ Styles. Other than those guys, I think Homicide's the best choice, and he's here and available for this one. And did really well. Matt Morgan had a promo on Nakamura. Should hopefully boost up the storyline heap for this. There. Melina went one-on-one with Beth Phoenix. They had pretty good chemistry, helped the match. Melina 74, Beth Phoenix 77. Wow. Well, that's interesting. Melina was penalized for low morale. Alright, might have to take a look at that. 83 though. We had Matt and Jeff Hardy. They announced that they are teaming up. They're going to team up tonight, and they're going to challenge the tag team champions, the America's Most Wanted for our main event, 97 rated. So they're backstage, and America's Most Wanted are hanging out. You know, they're tag champs, getting ready for Big Bound for Glory. It's a big month for them. All of a sudden, Jeff and Matt Hardy enter the locker room and challenge them, and they go ahead and do it. So we might need to change Chris Harris's gimmick. It's getting a bit stale. We had a music video hyping up Brock Lesnar, so I figured, yeah, it's spoiling that he's going to be appearing. It's not a surprise, but I guess it's a surprise. We wanted to hype it up a little bit, have Lesnar be hyped up. He's going to appear next week, or I'd say probably next week on Impact. Try and slot him in there. Here's a really interesting match. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Test. 92. I mean, when the hell does Test ever have a 92 rated match? What the heck? Nakamura 88, Test 74. That was good from Test, no doubt. But yeah, a 92. I mean, what happened? Test has got a good momentum bonus. I don't know. I don't know, but it was very, very good. 92. I think that's got to be Test's best match he's ever had. At least singles match. Brilliant. We did this because we wanted to get Nakamura a good win as he gets ready for, obviously, Matt Morgan. So, yeah, we did that, but I didn't expect it to be that good. We had the angle with Samoa Joe. So, Samoa Joe was out there about to, cut a promo, talking about whatever. Main Event Mafia's music hits, and they attempt to recruit Samoa Joe. They say, look, we're all veterans right now, but we could really use a young guy to groom and, pass the torch to. And we think you'd be a good fit for us. And Samoa Joe thinks about it, but declines. He declines. The Main Event Mafia, obviously furious that he did that, they decide to beat him down. And that is how we do turn Samoa Joe. Obviously, it is an out-of-nowhere turn. A late decision from myself. Ideally, we would have had Joe. We would have had probably 3 or 4 weeks of the Main Event Mafia trying to lure in Samoa Joe. We just don't have that time. We've got to get this feud up and running. We need, 4 weeks. That's all we've got. So maybe we could have spent 1 extra week building to this. And maybe have Joe make his decision next week. But I figured, let's just get it going now. So we're going to do the turn. Hopefully it works out okay. Complete success. So I was a little worried that we might have had done too many turns in quick succession. Too many, out of the blue turns, I suppose. But it seems to be okay. 100 rated. That's a good way to start this feud. So Joe does the turn, and it's a strong segment. Hopefully it does boost up his popularity a little bit as well. I had a hype video for Christian and Chris Jericho. Couldn't find any room for them on the show this week, but we did find a few extra minutes, so I decided I'll give them a hype video. Starts off their storyline officially again, and it's a way we can, I suppose we can replay what happened between the two at No Surrender, and we can play off that. Main event should be a good one. 91. Wow. I thought this would be like a 99. To be honest with you, I was expecting high 90s. To get 91's a little bit disappointing. The Hardys were brilliant. Jeff Hardy 100, Matt Hardy 96, James Storm 95, Chris Harris 97. So everyone performed fantastic, but we just lacked some psychology. If we had had some more psychology, we would have had some better flow, and we would have, well, ideally, we would have had a better rated match. The Hardys did win, so we gave the Hardy Boys the win. This is how we're going to sneak them into this triple threat, and we'll make that triple threat match official. And yeah, I was going to go with a segment afterwards with the Addiction, maybe doing something with the Hardys, but I just couldn't quite find. I had the time, but I couldn't quite find something that would fit. I was going to have them maybe, you know, say, okay, we're not backing down from you guys. If you're going to try and take out title shots, we're going to stand. We're gonna stop that from happening. I thought something like that, but it's more bayface, so you could have them shake hands or whatever. But I figured maybe next week we'd do something like that instead. Overall, it's a 94 rated show, which is a great way to back up a really good pay-per-view. So 94 is fantastic. I'm pretty thrilled about that. But yeah, so obviously the main event, I really believe that was going to be much better. So it's a little bit disappointing that wasn't there, but maybe I think Fallen Angel and Kazarian, I think those two guys should have the psychology to make up for the fact that the other guys don't. I mean, we'll have a look. Fallen Angel has 91 psychology and Kazarian 86. Just to compare, Jeff Hardy has 74 and Matt Hardy has 68. So that's kind of, you know, the difference there. James Storm had an 83, which is surprising that his psychology wasn't good enough. Same with Chris Harris, 82. So two good teams with some good psychology should help us out there. And Chris Harris can't have his gimmick tweaked. I guess we could probably go cowboy. I mean, that's kind of what he is, isn't it? Well, not quite cowboy, more like a drinking raw or something. I don't know. We'll think about it. Obviously, redneck kind of suited him, but we can't really go with that anymore. But yeah, we did get Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy the victory. Jeff Hardy is sitting high 80s popularity. Matt Hardy is now mid 70s. I think he probably would have taken a bit of popularity just then from that victory. Yes, he was about 74. Now with that victory, he's jumped about 77, 76. So that's a big jump. Very big jump. Chris Harris is at about 77 as well. What was he at before? Yeah, it's about where he was. So looks like Matt Hardy's jumped up. Obviously, two good segments will do that. I think James Storm might have gone down a little bit though. Actually, yeah, maybe not. Yeah, so it looks like the Hardys have just made the little jump up, and you know, the America's Most Wanted to stay the same, which is obviously excellent. Some other names: AJ Styles, 92 pop, incredible. You know, you want to keep that going if you possibly can. Samoa Joe was the other big one this week, and you can see, yes, he has bumped up in popularity. So he was about, you know, a couple of regions he was in the 80s, but some regions in the 70s. We're starting to get most regions in the 80s, 81, 80, even an 83 here, which is what we wanted. A couple of good segments. He did the turn. It seemed to be a success, and this opens up plenty of new matchups for Samoa Joe as well. I mean, he's got, you know, a guy like Abyss he could have feud with. You know, A-Train. There's lots of big heel names that Joe could, you know, have matches with in the future. So it's a good turn because of that. You know, he can feud with Lashley. I think that'd be really good. Steiner, Sting. You know, there's some big names there for him. You can see there's plenty of heels there. And faces, we're just missing a few, but now obviously taking one from the heels, putting on the faces, it's just evened it up just that little bit more to the point where we're pretty much good. I think we're pretty much good in that regard. I don't think we need to turn anyone else, but I definitely believe that needed to happen. Ideally, I think if we had AJ Styles available, Samoa Joe, them teaming up to take on the Main Event Mafia, that's definitely the young TNA guys facing the veterans. Fallen Angel will probably, you know, fit into that as well, but he's a little bit older. But I think he could have got away with that. Any others? I mean, yeah, not really on us. I mean, looking at the heel side, I think you probably think of it like a Bobby Roode would fit there, but he's more of a heel. There's probably nobody else there in terms of TNA original guys, you know, taking on, you know, these, well, you know, ex-WWE, WCW, these types of guys coming in and taking over. So, yeah, probably nobody there. But, yeah, I mean, Bobby Roode, James Storm would have, you know, suited, Chris Harris, those types of names. But, yeah, not to be. But, you know, obviously, if you did more with the series, you could obviously do that match at Lockdown or something like that in a big main event Mafia versus, you know, TNA guys, you know, TNA originals, or just some bayface, a big bayface team. I think that'd be a really successful match if you wanted to go with that. But yeah, so that's kind of where we stand at the moment. We've obviously got Explosion to get through, but yeah, so about 3 more Impact shows. We've got our storylines all set, ready to go, and most of them looking pretty good, especially Hassan Styles looking very strong. Yeah, so the main event Mafia storyline started off well. Jericho and Christian had the music video. We'll do more of that. So I think we're looking pretty good. I'm pretty confident. Matt Morgan and Nakamura, very good with the test match. I just want to see, is that Test's best match? It's got to be, right? Yeah, easily. The previous best was 87, and that was a multi-man tag match. But he had an 86 against AJ Styles one-on-one, so it had to be an AJ Styles to get the best out of Test. But easily his best match, which Nakamura gave to him. So nicely done, Nakamura. I really believe Nakamura and Matt Morgan for the championship, when it's all said and done, should be a really good match too. Ideally, if we could maybe squeeze Nakamura up to 78, maybe even low 80s before the pay-per-view, that'd be awesome. To get there, he would have to maybe go over a couple of guys we're not using, maybe an A-Train. I think Nakamura beating A-Train in the main event of a show would be really strong. Just simply because A-Train is not really in the mix at the moment. Nakamura beating him would be good. I was going to do that match on Impact this week, but I went with Test instead, simply because we didn't have enough time to do the match justice. I feel like that's a main event 25-minute match to get the most out of it. So maybe next week we can probably do that, or try and find some time, whether it's a main event or not, doesn't matter, but find some time to do that match just to try and get Nakamura to 80 popularity, because if he gets there, I really believe Matt Morgan and Nakamura could have that killer match. But you see Matt Morgan's down on popularity too, so maybe a couple of good segments between the two back and forth could ideally boost them up a little bit, because you saw what happened with Joe. You know, that's what I'm kind of looking at. You know, the main event Mafia, Scott Steiner's at 89 popularity, which is huge. Sting mid 80s, Ric Flair, I think he's in low 90s. I mean, he's still got insane popularity. And the guy he's probably going to be facing is Jeff Jarrett, who's got, you know, mid to high 80s, which is good. So that's kind of where we're at there. And if Joe beats Jeff Jarrett, I mean, that'd be a huge win for Samoa Joe. But I think you'd probably want the main event Mafia to go over this type of match, just simply because they've taken a couple of losses. They need a big win just to put the group over a little bit more and protect the group a bit more. So even though they're veterans, you probably would want them to go over Samoa Joe. But maybe at the end of it, you know, if you did really extend this feud, you would go all the way to perhaps our next major pay-per-view would be Lockdown, which is quite some time away actually. You know, a long time away. But if you really wanted to go to the long-term game, you could have that big win take place there of some sorts. And that's where, you know, your young guys get the big win on a big pay-per-view and get that big popularity boost just there. You see some people are a little upset with what's been going on. This is why Melina had a bit of a lousy performance this week, because her morale was really down. So we give her a bit of a bonus, make her feel good. Goldberg's not happy, might be even a little bit more. $50,000, he's still angry, so what can you do? You know, go to 70, he's still angry. I mean, we don't have that much money to give out, so I guess we'll have to leave it there. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. And yeah, so we're going to leave it there. But the next few episodes, we'll jump up and we'll get all these storylines sorted out. We'll show you some more results, and we'll be very, very close to Bound for Glory, which I think is shaping up to be a great show. I mean, comparing it to last year's show, I think it's going to blow it out of the park pretty easily. You know, Bound for Glory, 94 rated, featuring, you know, Abyss and Sting in a casket match, Muhammad Hassan and Christian Cage, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles. I think that was the best match of the show. Team 3D versus America's Most Wanted. Goldberg, Jeff Jarrett. Melina, Gal Kim. Jeff Hardy, Scott Steiner. So you can see there's already some matches here that you know we're going to beat. Team Canada versus Marufuji and Kenta. Obviously, that wouldn't normally make our card now. Homicide and Sabu. You know, Fallen Angel and Alex Shelley. So that was a good match. But yeah, a lot of these ones you probably wouldn't expect to see on our card at the moment. And we'd have a much stronger card. So 94 is what we're going to beat. And obviously one of the keys to doing it is making sure you've got some celebrities showing up, some bands, as we found out in some of our other series. They're kind of imperative to have. So we'll leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming along for this episode. If you did enjoy it, make sure you do leave a like on it. More likes, more episodes, 100 likes, we'll give you another one. Let me know in the comments down below, Hogan or Savage to bring in as our special guest celebrity, or not celebrity, but special guest, big name star, you know what I mean. Let me know in the comments section down below. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with the series. I know I've been really inconsistent with it, but we've only got a few more to go, and I think they're going to be really good. So we have a big bout for glory. I'm looking forward to getting to it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.